Welcome to Utah's Fly Corner. Johnny Utah. I'm going to show you to tie my Biot Rock Worm. Just a little rock worm fly I use. Hook I have here in the vise is a Daiichi 1230. It's a Weimer True Fly Mayfly hook. Just got a bent up eye shank. It's a size 14. Thread I'm using is Montana Flyco 80 in light brown. Just start there at the bend and bring it back to the bend. Break the point off. Now for the breathers on it, I like it's just a marabou off the rump off of a partridge. Just gather those tips up, catch it in with 2 turns, and just pull on those tips. Get them in, and roll it towards me. A wee bit shorter. That's good. Just want hardly anything there. And just spiral wraps up the shank. Hold the marabou tight as you wind the thread onto it. That way it won't give you too much fits. You can just break it off. At this point I'm going to dub. I'm using is rabbit hair, dyed insect green. I like rabbit hair. You can use superfine too, but rabbit hair you can dub real tight. And that's good because we're going to be laying a bite over top of it. Now rock worms have a thicker body in the middle, so you want to do a reverse taper on them. Obviously, since we're dubbing back, you're going to want to taper down towards the tail as you go. Normally I dub it all at once, but the camera's there, so I can't get in there. Don't worry about if it's a little shaggy. Always give it a haircut. But we're going to wind over it with the thread, so don't need much of a haircut. Okay, I'm just going to tie the turkey body in. I'll tie it down with the convex side facing down on my side. Bring the thread up. That way when I wrap, that dark edge is the leading edge. You just lay that fine hair edge down. Put your thread on there. Catch that biot. And then run the thread up, and run the bang down. Now you can see the biot's pretty white, but I'm going to hit that up with a Sharpie to darken that color up there, because it is pretty white. Straight here from the thread. Okay, I'm going to take a little more dubbing. Start evening this part out here. Rockworms they're fatter in the middle than they taper out. So that's the whole idea here, is to do that. Just cover up that end of the biot. I'm going to take another biot And this piece is going to be for the, it's not the wing case, but the front portion of the fly. Now what I do with the Biot is I just measure it up, see where the taper is, because you're going to want to use the taper. It's right about there. Just snip that off. And I get that piece of Biot. And tie that in. Tie it into the convex sides down. Just lift it up. Want to make sure you get your thread back. Okey-doke. Shirt's on top. Now I'm going to tie in the ribbing. The ribbing, this is it's by Hairline. It's ice thread, they call it. It's just dyed monofilament, obviously green. Just take a small portion of that. Just going to pull it into place. And make sure that's tied in. Nice and tight. Get that out of the way. We're going to dub just a little bit more, just to cover up that area where we just worked. Just want a little bit of dubbing on there, not too much to bulk it up too much. That's the thickest portion right there. We're going to start working our taper. Now for the legs, I'm tying the legs here. This is a dark partridge feather. I've stripped off the rubbish at the bottom and cut out the tip. And I cut off a lot of the tip because I want these thicker, webbier legs here. Just going to catch that in. Don't worry about how long they are because we're going to trim them anyway. Because rockworm's got stubby legs. Get that tied in. Now we're going to dub. Now remember, we want to taper down towards the head. Pull that feather back. Take a look at how your taper's doing. More dub. Just getting that dubbing nice and tight. Taper's looking pretty good. A little bit more dubbing. Chartreuse STS I have here in the blend's really popping out. Looks great. I'll definitely get some fish's attention. Like I said, this dubbing I'm using here is just a blend I make. It's just Chartreuse Rabbit and some Chartreuse flashes mixed in. Okay, now that we got our body pretty well tapered the way we want, just going to pull the legs over. These front ones here are getting on my nerves. Just going to rip them off. Get them out of the way. And then stroke the legs back with your finger going right at the head. Just stroke the legs back. Anybody that's forward of the eye, just rip them off the stem. Catch it in. Pull the stem tight as you tighten down. And just snip your stem away. You can pull your legs out. Gonna bring the biot over. Catch it in. Now it should naturally force the legs down. Tie it in nice and tight. There she goes. Do a couple on the biot and a couple on the shank. It'll really lock the biot in. And then we're going to bring the rib up. Got to get it through the legs. It can be a little fiddly. Helps to have a dubbing needle, because if you catch any, you can pull them out. And just rib up through the fly. And get one more in up here by the head. You want to taper, be a little bit wider than a little bit smaller as you get up towards the head. I like to wind this thread around my tying thread, catch it in, and fold it back, start forming the head as you tie it down. Just want to wrap it back, then you can snip your thread off, your ribbing material off. And don't worry about anything right now. Just go into your whip, snip your thread off, and the legs here. Just pull them down. I like to snip them off about the same, not even with the point of the hook in length. And then just push up on them, get those fibers to kink. You get some good looking rockworm legs. And what I like to do, because the fly, obviously, it's a little on the light side as far as the green goes. I like to take a green Sharpie marker, just color on top of the biot. If you got a dab, you can dab. And this color Sharpie, it's the lighter of the greens. It actually looks pretty on point with the color on the biot. You can get on there. I don't know if the camera picks it up all that great, but the fish sure dig it. And then if you want to, you can color in the dubbing, which I do that sometimes. Just get some glints of just dot it in there and get it colored in. And what I like to do too is I take some varnish the head, just get more of a buggy looking head on it. Get a needle here, got a little too much on there. Get out of the eye. Always if you get any varnish in the eye, get it out before you let it dry. That way saves you time on the stream when you're tying on a fly. Looks good. I do the head first because the marker is always wet. I mean, you can wait 20 minutes or so for the marker to dry, but I just glob it on top of this biot here. And what that'll do is it'll cause the marker to run and it looks even better. But just let the marker dry on the biot itself. this up again, darken it a little bit more, and you'll have it on the bowl. But that's my Biot Rock Worm. It serves me pretty well. The fish dig it. Just fishing on the bottom. I like to get them so that they drag on the bottom, not so much bouncing quickly across, just dragging. Because fish seem to respond to it a little bit better that way. But Johnny Utah, check me out on my site, www.utahsflycorner.com. Thanks for watching.